Hey Maddie, how are you?
Hello, Haley. I am good. How are you, my love?
I'm good. I'm excited for today. We've
Yes.
had our first request for a topic on the podcast.
Oh my God. Are we celebrities?
Oh, I'm losing my lights. Yeah, I had a DM
Nice.
and someone sent me a thing and said, I would love it if you and Maddie would talk about this. So today
Amazing.
we're going to talk about dealing with friends and family as clients. Good
Okay.
topic.
Great topic. Well done, whoever sent that in. And please know
Yes.
that you can send in requests. This is a thing now. So send
Yeah,
us them in the
we like
DMs.
it.
Yeah, I
We
love
like
this.
it. And so when they sent this to me, this is what it brought up for me dealing with friends and family as clients. I thought about this as that need that some of us have to be giving friends and family discount.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to give discounts to friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
It brought up for me boundary breaking. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
accommodating people when you don't want to, squeezing them in when they didn't organize themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the first thing it brought up for me. What
Yeah.
about you, Maddie? What does it bring up for you when we say
Yeah,
this?
I totally relate to this. So where I saw this in my business behind the chair and where I see it in other people's is that it's navigating that transitional period between when you start up and you need people to practice on, friends and family are brilliant, but it's how do you then go, I'm a proper business now and
Yeah,
I'm getting requests from other clients and this isn't working. Almost like they helped at that stage, but it's now becoming a little bit harmful. And I think um, a lot of it is like perceptions. I have this theory that like our clients meet us as a professional, so we can be the professional, then become friendly on top of that. Obviously, that can go to an extreme. Whereas our family and friends know us, warts and all. They remember us. They've got photos of you in the paddling pool when you were a kid, and we're on holiday and all this. Um, so then almost trying to convince them I'm a professional. And there's a lot of
yeah,
perception of like, you just play with nails and you just stand around and drink brews all day. So it's like them not taking us seriously, I think is another thing. Us feeling resentful around all of the above and the discounting bit. What about you? What can you think of? Or what are maybe the telltale signs for people they should maybe pay attention that this maybe is going down that path?
I mean, for me, I always say whenever you feel resentful about something, it's saying that's where you need a boundary. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
always think. Resentfulness is literally a big arrow pointing to where you need
Yeah,
boundaries.
I love
But
that.
I'm thinking about other conversations I have with people when I'm coaching them, and I remember this in my life as well. And I think it happens some of this happens a bit more when you're younger, but that where everybody wants you to blow dry their hair before you go on a night out.
You are everyone's
And
bestie.
yeah, and then like you're on a holiday with your friends and everybody's like lining up for an up doing a blow dry before a big night out. And it's like you're never off work. And
Yeah,
this presumption that if you like your job, you must want to do it 24/7.
yeah,
And so I think it shows up in things like discounting and boundary breaking, but I think it can start to infiltrate your personal life that you're like
100%.
on call, like
Yeah,
almost on
definitely.
call for your
Yeah.
friends and family. I've had neighbours knock on, on Sundays asking me to blow dry the hair. I was like,
That's so wild.
no, no, I'm actually in my pajamas.
Yeah.
I sometimes feel like I felt like saying to people, yeah, I'll come and blow dry your hair if you come and stock take my kitchen. You come
Yeah.
do your job
You
on a
paint me
Sunday and
house.
I'll come do mine. You do my accounts. What do you think? And people are like, hmm. And I
Yeah.
just think there's this presumption, isn't there, that hairdressing is um, your hobby as well as your job.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get that. I
Yeah.
think like
What do you think?
to go just on a tangent on that point first, a phrase that I don't really, you know me, it's a classic phrase that I don't really like that much, and it's work a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And I think, Your face. Watch this on YouTube for the reaction cam. And I think that our line of work, like hair and beauty, is it brings really passionate, really creative people, and that does get you through loads in the beginning when it's really hard and you're in the building phase and you're not making much money because you're really passionate and jazzed to do it. But the passion will get you so far. You will lose all love and passion for your job when you feel like you're being treated like shit, especially from your friends and family. So like there has to be a point where both exist. And I actually felt so much more passionate about the work that I did behind the chair when I felt like I was really well respected, well paid, and I was working with really good clients. That's when I had the most passion. So that's me sort of tangent on that point. But yeah, I think telltale signs, like if you are taking your scissors to Christmas dinner, if you to jam them in,
folks,
to jam them in your own eyeballs. If you are taking scissors to do anything but cut wrapping paper, there's a problem. Basically, if you are not able to participate as a guest for the thing that you're going to, so in your example, like a person on holiday with the lasses, or how many weddings have we been to where it's like, oh, would you just mind quickly putting a few quick curls in the mother of the bride, and you're trying to sit and actually enjoy yourself because it's like the first day off that you've had, or it's a lot of effort to go to weddings in the first place and then think I'm at work and I'm not getting paid. That's
and then you end up getting ready last because you've been doing everyone, and
you're
then
like pulling your dress on,
flying in.
Yeah, exactly. And your hair looks shit.
Because there's no time.
Yeah, that's a telltale sign. So how did you change things then when you were behind the chair, when you felt this creeping in?
I did. I remember when I started to really, I would say, sort of take my business seriously. And I was realizing that, in your words, the math want math in, and I started looking at my numbers and realized it was unsustainable for my business to run things the way I was running in lots of different ways. There was problems with stock and what have you. However, one of the big things was there was too many people with discounts. It had crept up because I'd done things like this as well. When my friends were having a bit of a rubbish hairdo with someone else, I was like, I'll do it. I'll fix it. And then I'd give them a discount. And I'd done a bit much of that. And so there was too many people on my books that were getting a discount. And so what I did was I put a message together. I didn't send out like a hello. It was to everyone. I sort of wrote something and then I put everyone's name on it, and I personalized them each a little bit because, there was enough that it wasn't hundreds. And I basically just said, from this day, I will no longer be offering discounts to anyone. This is no longer viable for my business. I understand this means that you might not be able to come and see me anymore. And I understand that, something lovely. Thanks so much. And I just told everyone in one go. I didn't have family. I wasn't doing any family. Everyone had moved away, but it was friends and it was quite a lot. And I was terrified when I sent this message. But what was really interesting was I got lots of different responses, and nobody was affronted. A couple of people were like, how much will it be then? Just a genuine question. How much will it be without the discount? It'll be this much. And I remember one of my friends messaged me and said, I want to start by apologizing and saying I should always have been paying you full price. Why haven't I seen this before? You shouldn't have had to ask. And I just thought that was so nice. That felt really good.
And I see the same, and I'm going to just sound the shameless plug klaxon for a second. In my free pricing masterclass, which we'll put the link in the show notes, I have literally like a word for word text script of how to stop doing this in a really nice way, that way you don't feel kind of guilty. So I hear a lot of the responses because people message me after and say, I use the script and this is what happened. And to your point there about that lovely friend saying, I should have been paying you more. I think that what we realize is that it was our responsibility to tell them, because what usually happens is when you have your friend in, you just say, oh, just call it 40 quid. Now that poor friend doesn't actually know if that just call it 40 quid is 42, 45, 60, 70, 80. And what I actually find is when you say, you know, going forward, the price will be X, a lot of them are mortified and really ashamed and embarrassed that they think they've ripped you off, but also it's not their fault because they didn't know, you know, and they would have paid you that price all along. If the vast majority of them would have. And that's a really like kicking yourself moment when you think, why did I even do that? You know, I didn't need to.
Yeah. And I don't want people coming because I'm cheap. I want them to come because they like their hair, you know?
Yeah.
All of
for
that,
anyone,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And so what are your final thoughts around this topic, Maddie? Like, what do you really want people to know?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things. Is that one, you're allowed to change anything in your business at any time. Like whatever you commit to, you're allowed to change. That's okay. And you're allowed to be honest and just say this isn't working, or maybe this worked before, but for where I'm going, where I am now, this is not this won't work for me. And I think it's really amazing that we have a gift that we can share with people. I have this grand plan of having a giant commune with all my last mates in the future. And one of the great things is that we all have skills we can bring in. So being able to skill swap is cool, but it has to feel equitable. So like, let's say they take care of your kids or do the school run. Absolutely do the hair for free. Something where it feels even, but when it starts to feel like the scales are tipping, if they're not, bringing anything to the other side and you're starting, like you say, to feel resentful. And at the end of the day, if you didn't see them, they would pay full price somewhere else.
Yeah.
And when you see them do that, because I have banned family members before and they go and pay someone else full price and you go, again, it's a kick in yourself moment. So like you are allowed, you have, not that anyone needs our permission, but if you want a permission slip, take this episode as that and go and do your thing. What about yours?
I think there's two things that are happening. I think there's the beginning of your career problem, and then there's the kind of well-established end of it. And the decisions you make at the beginning really can impact you for a long time, can't they? You bless your mates who had them spiral perms, and all of that. But you don't owe them for life.
Yeah.
You don't owe them for life. And I think no one, if you put it to, you don't really want to have to put it to people this way. And it's our responsibility as the service provider to do this, but other people aren't giving their, part of their wages away every 6 weeks to you.
Yeah.
They're not taking wage reductions for your benefit.
Like I share this analogy.
I think people don't make that connection.
No.
Do you know what I mean, Maddie? They're not making the connection.
No, I tell a story sometimes. Like I just made it up one day because I love a little visual story and people were like, oh shit. So I say, imagine that it's payday, Hayley, and you've been grabbing your ass off behind the chair all week, 40, 50, 60 hours, no lunch, couple of iced coffees because you hadn't heard this podcast. And you go to, let's say you're employed or whatever, your money's in your bank. So you go to the cash machine on Saturday, you think, I'm going to treat myself. And you go and withdraw some money. You've got 300 quid, full whack in your mitts, and you feel a tap on the shoulder and you turn around and you go, oh, that's my next door neighbour. And then you look around and you go, oh, there's me sibling and me cousin and me parent and someone I went to school with and someone off Facebook. And you think, is this a reunion for me at the cash machine? This is very weird. And they all start putting their hand out and one of them goes, I'll have a £5, Hayley. I'll have a £10. Hayley, 20 of that, that's mine. And you start dishing money out and money out and money out, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And you think to yourself, is this the most polite mugging that has ever taken place? And they don't give you anything back, and they go, thank you, see you again in 6 weeks. That's how we need to see giving out multiple discounts when it's not reciprocated for what it is, because it is money out of your wage. It's money that could go to your savings, to your pension. That money could turn into more money, investments in your education, holiday, it is real and it really, really adds up. It's not just call it 40 quid. It's not let's knock a fiver off. And the same for any discounts, you know, or where you're undercharging, you're not charging for, I don't know, a toner or a bond builder or, I don't know, gel art, nail art, whatever. All of these things just really, really add up, and we've got to be dead mindful of the big numbers. So that's me tale, my fable.
Yeah. I just sort of think this as well, you know, be careful if there's anyone listening at the beginning of their career, be careful how many, I think when you're building, you're so desperate for people to, you know, to come, and then you think they're going to recommend all their friends, that you sort of bring all these people in at low prices without any thought as to how you're going to stop that. And so my recommendation is don't start it. The day you qualify the disc, you know, that's when that ends. And people will stay who like your work and people will leave who won't. But I agree with you. You can change your mind at any time. It's your business. You can do whatever you want. And you can just decide one day that you're not giving out discounts, and you can word it well and it will be fine.
And if you're really stuck, I always give permission to blame me. Tell them that I'm 6 foot and covered in tattoos and I'm dead scary. Show them and be like, look how terrifying this woman is. And just say, oh, she told us, and she'll kick me ass if I don't do it. So like borrow a bit of that. You do the whole like my accountant told me or my coach told me or whatever. If that helps you, if you need like a little bit of backup, you also have permission to go away and do that.
Yeah. I also say this to people as well, actually, when we talk about this sort of thing, is when people start talking about putting their prices up, the first thing I say is, well, stop discounting first.
Yeah, that's a good step.
When people go, I'm thinking about putting my prices up, and I say, well, my recommendations are, first thing, stop discounting everyone, get it a level playing field, and then we put them up. And people are like, oh, no, I just wanted to put the prices up at these people.
I just want to have everyone on a different price that I have to try and remember for the next 5 years.
That sliding scale of whether you had a perm in the old days.
I call it Doris Price, where you give someone a price just because you really like them. Or it's like little old lady on a very historic price from like 10 years ago. We need to stop all of this. I love it. So hyperfocus time? Is it that time of the poddy?
Do you know, Maddie, I've gone deep into something new and comforting. Now, I know that there's a thing where they say, well, people say it's very comforting to rewatch TV shows that you really like. Yeah. And I started one the other night and I thought, oh no, this is me now for a good few weeks. I started The Sopranos from the beginning.
I think The Sopranos is one of the best series ever, apart from The Bear. And that's one of our we have the same comfort shows, don't we? Parks and Rec.
Yes.
Arrested Development.
Yes.
American Office.
Modern Family.
Oh, I don't do Modern Family.
I've started. Oh, you want to get on that? I've sort of tried to get into American Office every now and again, but I watch a couple of episodes because you and another of my friends love it, and then I fall back out.
Yeah.
But the other night I was just, I've run out of TV shows. Like, I've finished everything. I'm just watching the Salt Lake City, which is weekly, and all of that. And so I've run out, and it just flashed up the other day, The Sopranos, and I thought, I'm going in. So I'm absolutely loving it. And I'll tell you what, Maddie, the first time I watched it, I never watched the last series. I sort of got bored. And I think the problem is I was a bit too young. I think the first time I watched this, I was younger, and I don't think I quite got a lot of the subtleties and stuff of it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's pretty old now. It came out in it
was like the
late 90s.
Yeah.
They talk about 1999 a lot in the first series. And I just think I didn't quite, and also, I hadn't trained as a therapist at that point.
Dr.
So
Melfi.
now to look at Dr. Melfi, it is really interesting to me, and the ethical dilemmas that she has. But I'm living it, and I watched the whole of the first series in 2 days when I was chilling the other day. So I'm deep hyper-focused on The Sopranos.
Not a bad thing to be hyper-focused on. I did see something over Halloween where they used the house that was like their house, and they did a Sopranos themed Halloween party. So you need to find the content around this, because there was like Paulie, and there was what do you call him? The guy that with the ponytail that the wife fancies, and he's got like a silky shirt. I forget what he's called.
I don't
now,
think
but
he's in it. Is he? Maybe he's not in it
it's
yet.
later on, yeah. So someone goes as him in this like patterned silk shirt. Someone goes as there's like Carmela, there's Tony in his dressing gown, very cool, very good theme, very niche theme. Hyperfocus. I've got, it's an extension of a previous one, but I've got 3 words for you, Jepson. Elevated, transitional knitwear, right?
Shut up.
You might call them cardigans. A layman would probably just call it regular knitwear. So because I've had my colour analysis, and also
God, me too.
Which we're obsessed with.
We're
so
twinning now as autumns.
We're autumn twins. So I was like, I've been buying a few bits, obviously in my right colours. I was getting some off Vinted, as previously discussed, and I'm mindful that I want to get stuff that lasts a long time, and I'm in a privileged position to be able to do that rather than get stuff that you're chucking out all the time. And also because nothing fits, because your girl's been in the gym. I thought, what a good time to buy some stuff, right? And I got a Facebook ad. This is how fast the funnel was for me. I got hit with an ad and I was like, say no more. And it's a brand called Varley. Yeah, and this is what I've got on now. And they're so snuggly, but they just use the word
Varley.
Elevated. Yeah, Varley. Yeah.
Ley. She's writing it down.
And you know when you sort of say something to take the piss and then it becomes a real thing? That's in our household. I keep talking to Aidan about my elevated transitional knitwear or like transitional key pieces. He's like, please don't be this person. And that's it. I'm just living for it. And they've got some really nice autumnal colours. And it's just really, it's nice. And do you know when you buy something nice, like good quality, and you just feel $1 million.
Like you're living your best life.
Yeah, especially snuggly stuff as well. Like I'm just here for it, so I'm balls deep into that at the moment.
Cardis. Do you know, years ago a stylist told me not to wear cardis, so I don't really wear them. I stopped wearing cardis and moved on to jackets about 10 years ago. I'm not going to sit around in jackets. So I'm more of a sweatshirt person than a cardi. But the thing is with the cardi, you just put it over your summer wear and you're in autumn. This is the transition.
Exactly this. Key transitional pieces. So
yes.
I have so many cardis that they don't fit on my... I have a rail that I put like my... because
you are cardi obsessed, I've noticed.
Yeah, because of ADHD object permanence. If it goes in my proper cupboard, it doesn't exist anymore. So I have like a rail.
It's in a drawer, it's done.
Yeah, the rail is for stuff that's in my rotation.
I have a problem with
too many
knitwear
cardis
as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, knitwear's a pain though, because if you hang it, it goes into a mess and you get shoulders in it. And if I put it in the drawer, I forget I own it. Big problem. So I just find knitwear a problem.
Well, on my rail,
that's why I stay away from it.
I got, because I did a little IKEA shop the other day, and I've got one of those like little drop down on the rail where it creates like little shelves. So I've put some things folded in there, so you could maybe put your cardis folded. I put my dungarees in.
You're going to need to send me a picture of that.
Yeah, I'll tart the rail up, and then I've got my little scarves, because I feel like scarves is on the horizon as well.
Yes.
But yeah, great hyperfocuses this week.
Great hyperfocus. Good ones. I've written Varley down. I'll get obsessed with that. That'll be mine next week.
Oh, yeah. You'll be like, I'm in. Mint. Right. Well.
Right, Maddie. This was
wonderful
good.
Topic. Loved it. Yeah. Keep the requests coming in, guys. We'll live for it. So yeah, I will see you next week. It's been a pleasure.
See you next week, Maddie. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments.
Please support those who support us, and check out Timely, who we recommend as our favourite booking system for you. New customers can get 50% off their first 3 months with the code COFFEE50.